Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Destry Jashan of Arizona Midday. Thanks for joining us today. Today on the show, we're going to tell you why Botox is even more popular than ever. We also have Oscar predictions, DIY projects, and lots of free tickets to some cool shows. All that and more coming up. But first, everyone, springtime really is almost here, so we are talking about DIY projects that you can do around the house. Brad Samaro from Ace Hardware is here with more. He's kind of brought everything that you need. And first up, let's talk about weeding. We've had a lot of rain lately. The weeds kind of sprout up, and we want to get rid of them.
We do. It's one of those things, in spite of the snow yesterday, weed season is right around the corner. And I want to show you how to kill your weeds and not your weekend.
All right, that's good. So what do we have here?
A couple of different ways to do. I've got a couple of refillable containers here. The one on the end is for post-emergent. That means if the weeds come out of the soil, you want to kill the weeds, you spray a little bit on there and it takes care of them. Dries in about 10 minutes there with the Roundup brand. We also have something that's called the extended control that might be good to apply this weekend. So as it warms up, it's going to get the weeds before they even sprout.
Oh, I like that. All right, very good. You also have some other things here that you can use.
I do. I've got one of these so I don't have to take out the big gallon container, just a little handy dandy one that I use to spritz on the grass and the rocks. And then you can also attach some things to a hose right here like this.
Oh, wow.
To get a weed and feed that way in your lawn.
And I think this is something that I didn't know about before you came on. This is called ground clear.
Ground clear, you're not going to be able to grow anything there for a while. So you've got to be very careful when you apply it. You can put that in one of these handy dandy garden sprayers. You can mix it up as you can with some of these other pre-emergents. And this is another one that we can put on the end of the hose that you can mix a variety of chemicals. And this would be a good season to mix and spray the chemicals as well.
All right. One thing that I noticed the other day was at my school, I was pulling up, and this woman pulls up in a truck, and the whole back of her pickup truck was full of oranges. I could not believe it, and grapefruit.
It's the season. We'll get to that in just a minute. Always remember when you're mixing chemicals to use proper safety equipment, long sleeves, and be aware if you're using chewing gum, tobacco, or food that your hands are going to get the chemicals and you need to be susceptible with that.
All right, so use that, and then let's get to that citrus because you brought this in, and I'm dying to talk about it.
The fruit picker is kind of a fun thing. I obviously didn't bring the extension pole. I didn't have room out here today, but this is one where you just kind of put it up there, grab the fruit, and it lands on this little cushion down there, and it safely cushions your fruit. And my neighbor's got one, and he picks his oranges and grapefruits with it, and it works wonderfully.
All right, that's
Put an extension pole, and you can get it way up there high.
I can see the kids doing that too. Yes. They would love that.
And speaking of citrus, this is a great time of year to make sure that you're fertilizing your citrus, and we've got Arizona's best citrus food, and along with some of the organic brands from Job's that you might want to think about. And it's a great time of year to get ready for your citrus.
Okay, so that's a good idea. And what else should we be getting ready for? I'm seeing you have some things to plant, Miracle Grow. What can we plant right now?
It's a great time for bare root roses, so I brought some rose food here on the end. But it's a great time to get your pots or your garden beds ready for the season. So I brought a variety. Remember, we've got some soils in Arizona that aren't necessarily plant friendly, and I've got a bag of topsoil that I'll show you at the end to build the amendments and things like that. But here's some ways to do it out of a bag if you're doing it in little pots in your patio, like many of us do.
Yeah,
and it's
so
a real convenient way to do that. You can do that right now. It all depends on the weather report Jimmy gives us. Yesterday was quite a surprise for many of us.
I'm glad nobody did it yesterday, because today, though, we can focus. It's slowly going to warm up.
This weekend on Sunday, I'm putting in my bare root roses, and I'm planting some tomatoes as well.
Okay, well, there you go. When you're not doing Little League, right?
When I'm not doing Little League, absolutely.
What do you have here?
I have some other things in the tool. This garden weasel is something we've seen these advertised on TV.
Look at that.
And it kind of goes around. It's one of those nifty things that if you're looking for an early Father's Day gift, or the man in your life has a birthday in the spring, and he needs a new gadget. Remember, we talk about the new gadgets that the men like. That's one that everyone has to have in their garage. When you're weeding or building your flower beds, of course, you can use a cultivator like this. Or you can use a garden rake along with a shovel. And then the hula hoe I find real easy for getting into our garden beds, where you just kind of get it under and it clips the root and it actually pulls it back up, and then you send your kids out for a penny a piece to pick the weeds out.
I used to do that when I was young. One thing that I want to talk about too is I know I still have some plants that we haven't totally pruned yet because of that freeze. I see it all over. So you brought in some tools to help us out with that too.
I have about 10 bougainvilleas in my yard, and I'm about halfway through cutting them all the way back, and they got hit by the freeze. And so now is the right time to cut those back, because I'm assuming we're not going to get another hard freeze, but you can never know. Certainly in the Central Valley, we should be okay after the weekend. That's up to the weatherman to decide what kind of weather we have.
I like that tool set, like kind of the combo and those big ones.
And this is kind of a good all-purpose one, the little hand pruner for the forged bypass style. And this tool set, so if you're looking for one of everything, lopping some heavier branches along with the trimming the shrubs, along with the hand pruning down there as well.
And you can take those all the way down to the bottom right now?
I've taken mine back to the nub.
Really?
I've taken my,
you kind of have to.
I've taken my bougainvilleas back till they're about that tall.
It's so sad right now, but then all of a sudden they are blooming in like a month or phew.
And they'll be looking great. Also, we've got the camera focused on the topsoil. Remember, I talked a little earlier about soil amendments and things like that. Now's a great time. I build my topsoil in my yard every year in certain parts around the bushes. Topsoil, garden soil, certainly the Miracle-Gro soils, and then of course manure, compost, and bat guano are among the several different things that you'd want to use to help amend your soil. I brought a bag of topsoil because that's part of the project that I'm using this weekend along with my roses.
All right, you're going to be busy this weekend.
I am.
All right, good luck to you. acehardwarephoenix.com/DIY to find out more. And don't go away, everyone.